It Happened on the Job, the podcast for relatable conversations with contractors. Sponsored by Goodman Insurance.
Welcome to It Happened on the Job, episode 136. Today, my name is Mike. That's Brian.
Yo.
Today, our episode is brought to you by the Buildsters. Check out thebuildsters.com to find out how you can become an accredited Buildsters Pro member today. You'll instantly become a part of a network of the best suppliers, manufacturers, and contractors in the industry, where you'll have the ability to showcase your work to thousands of qualified buyers. Stop paying for leads that don't convert and become a Buildsters Pro member today. That was the third time I did that, and it was probably the worst one. Fantastic. April, how are you doing today? Our guest today, April Morse, owner at Weber Company. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time with us. We appreciate it. So kind of how we got all these things started. Let's hear your story. We want to know how you got into this industry and what led you to where you are now as owner.
So it's kind of a long story.
That's all right. We got all the time in the world. These are really good the more you talk, so this is good.
I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you said the guy talked for 45 minutes from one question.
Yep, it happens.
Okay, so I was in college. I was a voice major, and then I changed to liberal studies. I was going to be a teacher, and 2001, I was still in college, but I needed a part-time job, and so my dad asked me to come work for him, and I did the books and anything he needed help with in the office. So it was strictly office work. And he started his cabinet shop in 1972. Oh, wow. So I graduated in December of 2002. And so I was working part-time till then. And then I started the credential program, and my mom goes, "I'm quitting. I'm not doing the books anymore." And I was like, could you stay? And so I started the credential program, and I really got disenchanted with the educational system. The teachers were all the same. They would come in. It was kind of weird. They come in and, "I've got a new idea for you. I want you to take this binder, and we're doing math. So I want you to find all the lesson plans you can in math and put them in this binder." And I'm like, seriously? And then we did the same thing for science, the same thing for social studies, and I was like, this is a joke. So I prayed about it, and I was like, you know what, I love working with my dad. I really do. So, and we get along really well. So I was like, I think this is where I need to be. So I stayed, and I worked with him, and I learned how to do the books, and I had a bookkeeper who still helps me to this day, and she taught me how to use QuickBooks. It was kind of funny because she asked me, "Didn't you take accounting in college?" And I was like, no. It was a math class called How to Teach Elementary School Students Math A, and then the next semester B.
Right, yeah.
So you're using manipulatives and stuff like that. So I didn't learn any of that. So it was all new to me. And then I'm a learner. I love to learn new things. I get bored. So I was starting to learn about wood, different types of wood, how you determine whether it's a different type of wood, finishes, the different things that we made in the shop. And at that time, we were doing a lot of different things than we do now. We were doing a lot of work for Del Webb Homes. So we were doing the molding and corbels and things like that. And we finished them to match their stuff. And so they would put, and then they would do entertainment centers. And then some of the things that they couldn't make with the prefab cabinets on the assembly line, they'd have us make it and then finish it to match. So it looked like they did it.
Right.
And we were delivering there every day for a long time. And then 08 happened.
Hey.
It started to slow down in 06 when I look back at the numbers. And I noticed it, but I remember asking my dad, and I was, I was probably 28 at the time. And so I was like, "Hey, Dad, it's, we're not getting as much work, and I can't pay this bill." And I could pay, before I could pay the bills, no problem. I'd give him a list, and he'd go, "Okay, this. And so I started having issues with it. And he's like, okay, we're going through a recession, but I've been through these before. It's going to we need to give it 6 months. It's going to be tight. Don't worry. Well, 6 months goes and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And so we had rented, because he has this building that I'm in now, but we rented buildings across the street because we had a shipping building. We had another building we built custom cabinets, and then there was another one we had, I forget what we did in there. That had like 2 places. Yeah, no, it was just custom cabinets. So he goes, well, we need to stop renting this building. So I was like, okay. So we called the company that we paid the rent to and said we need to move out of this building. Okay. So the one that we had for shipping, we still kept it, and then I couldn't pay that bill. And so he was like, well, then we're moving out. I'll have your uncle help me. So that weekend he got everything out of there and moved it all over here. And we just came back and did this building, worked out of here, and had to lay off everybody. So I had a point, when I started, my dad had like 20 guys, and we went from that to me and him. And I had been asking to work in the shop, and I wanted to. And he was like, no, you're good. You're good in the office.
Guess
and
what?
I'm like, but I really want to work in the shop because I'm bored. And so he let me do a couple things. But once that we had to lay off everybody, he was forced to have me come in the shop.
Yeah.
So then because there was just him and me. So I ended up in the finish shop a lot, and I did a lot of finishing, and I still do. But I'd rather be in the wood shop. And so one thing that was really important that happened was we started praying every day, and that was a big thing, and we still do. We pray every morning, and we hadn't done that before, and just to make sure God is in control and you're number one, and this is we need to do what you're want us to do. And also I remember one day I was like, I don't know if we're gonna make it, Dad. Do we have, because a lot of people were shutting down, and I was like, do we have to shut down? And he goes, we still have we have these 4 jobs. He goes, God's still providing the work, so I don't see how we should shut down. And I said, okay, I'm sticking with you. If you think we need to keep going, we'll keep going. And I don't know how, well, I know how we made it. It's because God, but that's the only way we made it.
Right. Didn't make sense any other way. Yeah.
It was crazy. But, and I have a very supportive husband. He's like, just keep going, keep doing it, keep working with your dad, And so I decided I took over officially in 2012. And so my dad likes to now say he's not the boss and he's the flunky. And I'm like, yeah, I still ask you questions. I don't know stuff. But so I took over in 2012, and now it's just me and him. And then I have another guy that my dad's been training as his apprentice for 4 years now. And then I just actually hired someone to help in the finish shop. So hopefully, I hope that works out, because I am so overwhelmed right now, and I'm very thankful. And I'm not going to complain about extra work, but
work is good.
Yeah.
So from 08 to now, or just recently, when you hired a few people, you guys have been running that lean, just you and your dad and maybe 1 or 2 other guys or girls for that long?
Yep.
Wow.
Was that more of I was just gonna say, was that more of like a lesson from 08, having 20 guys and having to drop them and just,
My dad had said he shouldn't have had that many. He didn't need that many. I mean, it was sustainable, but he was like, we didn't need that many. We can make these walls swell, and we could have, say we had to have 10 guys, we could have 2 shifts, in this one building. But we didn't need all that.
Well, and thankfully you guys survived, right? And you found a way, and I think that's important takeaway too. But I think the more important part for people that are listening, right? Bigger is not always better, right? I mean, there's a burden that you take on if you're a responsible and moral business owner, that when you hire somebody, like you're taking on that burden to feed their family and provide for their family. And when you can't, it shouldn't be just as easy as, hey, sorry, we don't have work, see you later. Right. I mean, it sounds like it was really hard on you guys, and obviously it changed the way you guys do business. Right. I mean, instead of just blowing it up and getting 20 or 30 more guys and doing it again, you kind of got smart about that. And I'm sure that weighed heavy on you guys, having to do that at that point.
Yeah, that was a really sad day. It was a Friday, I remember, and telling those guys, I'm sorry, I don't have any more work for you. Can't come back Monday. I remember my friend Bob's gone now, and he passed away a few years ago, but he was there, and he's a retired and just was working part-time. And he goes, I'll see you on Monday. And I said, Bob, I can't pay you. And he goes, I don't care. I'll still see you on Monday. I'm coming. So he would come in and still help me. And I would just so thankful for him. And another guy, Bill, he would come in and help me. And just such great people that I had that were really just very, very good guys that,
loyal to the family
and could help out. Yeah, they were like family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So coming out of the other side of that, when things were starting to get a little bit easier and you consciously made that decision to not bring on a bunch of guys, how difficult was that? What was that thought process that you guys went through to say, hey, we're going to stay lean and we're going to only take on what we can control with these few people? I guess the bigger question is, did you have people that you worked with before that were also coming out of it, knocking on your door saying, hey, you guys, we did a lot of work with you before, we want to continue on? I mean, did you have to say no in those situations?
So Merillat Cabinets was the company that was doing the cabinets for the Del Webb and Pulte and US Homes that we were doing all that work for. And they had slowed down too, but we still had that work. So that was, I didn't have to turn down the work, but it ended up being, they left California in 2013, I think. So all that work was gone. So that was and my dad had always said, because when he first started working for them, it was like 1990. So he had quite a few years he did a lot of work for them. And then all of a sudden it being gone, but he was like, he said 1 year, I don't know which one it was in the 90s before I was working for him. He said, I did like 90% of work for them and then 10% of custom work. And I decided I'm not doing that because I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket. I got to do.
If they leave,
I started as custom. I got to keep doing custom. So that was something that he decided then. So when I remember telling him, hey, they're leaving, and I thought it was a big problem, and he goes, it's no big deal because we're not doing just work for them.
Right.
We've got other people that we can do work for. It's, we don't have just this one. I mean, it was a big chunk of work, but there was a lot of I don't know what you would call them, learning lessons, but different things that I hired someone to help me out, and then I remember I got a job with, so I've been fired a couple times. That's not fun. I got a job with this other, you think you don't get fired when you run your own business, but you do.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a company that took over what Merillat was doing because they were the lowest price, and I don't know how they're doing business, but they decided, I heard from other salesmen that they were selling their cabinets through Home Depot and Lowe's and making the money there, and then everything they did for the builders, they did it at cost because they just wanted to get in with all the builders. And so anyways, I started doing wood tops for them and stuff. Well, they started, like, my dad had been doing work for Merillat for 25 years, and they loved our work. We did a good job. So I was like, they were like complaining about the wood top, like, why are there these lines and like, so I don't know, it was something about the plywood. So it ended up being, they wanted MDF core in the plywood, which is cheaper than a regular plywood. So we changed that, and they were saying it looks wavy because I don't know, they don't know what it's supposed to, it was dumb. And so they were complaining about different things like that. And then I remember I was with my son it was like November, he was sick, and I was in the urgent care, and I saw the boss called me. I couldn't answer the phone. He left me a message. I want to just talk to you about the work we have coming up in December. And I thought something was wrong, but I thought, no, okay, if he wants to talk to me about the work coming up, okay. So I call him back and he goes, I just want to let you know that you're not going to be working for us anymore. And I was like, okay. and
oh darn.
Yeah. And we're going to use somebody else. And I was like, all right. And I'm thinking, that's how you're going to play it. You're going to call me and leave me a message like that. Okay. So, but you know, that's fine. They can decide to use someone else. And I moved on and did other things. And, you know, it just learning lessons like that.
Right.
Diamonds in the rough.
There's some crappy people out there, but big builders, I've done work for big builders, and it's stressful. And I don't know if I'm cut out for it, because I'm not brutal and I'm not
yeah, it'd be pretty cutthroat and
ruthless.
pretty, yeah.
It's really cutthroat.
Yeah.
And I've been taken advantage of. And I think that's really, I've learned I've become tougher as I've been doing this now for 20 years, but it's a long time. It's hard.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm like, well, hey, I didn't cry when they talked to me about this thing, you know, or, you know, somebody call me and tell me I was fired. I would have cried like in 2001, right. But in 2000, whatever it was, I was like,
you're like, eh.
Okay, that's the way you're going to be. All right. But I've learned a lot.
So maybe speak to that a little bit. I mean, we hope it's 2021, right? And there's more and more women in this industry. And I mean, we've spoken to quite a few. Yeah. I mean, definitely not a lot, but I feel like there are more and more, and we've actually spoken to quite a few on this show, which I think is awesome. But do you think that any of that, I mean, has to do with the fact that you were female, or is it that just the industry?
No, I think that it's not all because I'm female.
Right. Personally, I think it's a little bit of both. I didn't want to interject that if that wasn't your experience. You know what I mean?
No. There's no. That's totally understandable, because I thought when I first started, I was like, oh, geez, some of these guys, you know, but it ended up being like the older guys, and then not all the older guys, because I had older guys that worked here for me that my dad grew up with that came to work for him after they retired and just wanted a job to do something.
Yeah.
And they've been super nice to me and supportive and taught me things. But then there's these other guys that just, I don't know if they just don't think that a girl should be doing this job, or, you know, it is very, you know, there's certain things that I cannot do. And there's things that guys can do that I can't do. And there's things that girls can do that guys can't do. And that's just biological.
Yeah. Life.
You know,
yeah.
You have certain things that you can physically do and certain things you can't. But I do think there's an advantage to, I have the advantage because there's no girl cabinet maker in my town, and there's quite a few cabinet makers in Lodi. And I get told a lot when I go out and measure jobs, the woman is the one that usually makes the decisions, but there are some times where I have a job where the man makes the decisions and he likes to do that. And he's like, well, I want this, and this. Okay. So you kind of figure out who's the one that's doing the decisions, but most of the time it's the woman, and they'll say, I appreciate that you're a girl and I get to talk to you. So they like that.
Yeah. Because you're working directly with homeowners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I started to get to know, I like to do design, but I'm not the kind of designer where I say, well, you should do this, and this is what you should do, and that's the way it should be. I like to know what they like. I especially like it if they have stuff on Pinterest, because then I can figure out what their style is.
That's awesome.
Some people don't like my style, and I don't like theirs, but if they're going to live in it, not me. So I want to make it the way they want it. And so I think that's a total advantage for me. I have had times where men have asked me specific questions and I know what they're doing. They're trying to see if I know what I'm talking about, and I can answer. So I think that's
shut them down quick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but usually it's now the older guys the older couples that are in their 70s or 80s. They think I'm 25, And then then the people that are my age are like, yeah, I totally know you're not 25. But I feel like since I turned 40 2 years ago, I feel like I've gotten to that point where that I gotten taken seriously. And before that I wasn't. And it could be hard. I can't imagine. I mean, when I get to be 60, I'll probably be like, that 25-year-old's going to know how to read.
Yeah, right. I think that might be like a life thing too, right? I mean, that might not just be a female thing. I think that's just an industry thing, right? I mean, when somebody comes in and you feel like they might have a little bit, even if they don't, right? I mean, the kid that's 25 might have 10 years under his belt, working for his dad or doing whatever, whereas the guy that's 45 might be brand new and learning, right? So, but I think that's just a perception thing. Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah. But I think it's fun when they poke you a little bit to see what you know and you're able to answer it, because that always shuts down.
I'm like, bring it on. I want to give me some questions.
Yeah. Been doing this forever.
I'll answer them.
Yeah. So what does your scope look like now? I mean, what is your reach? Where are you guys specializing? What is your bread and butter right now?
Right now is kitchen remodels. A lot of people are remodeling their kitchen.
Yep.
A lot of people are painting everything white.
Sounds like you love that.
Yeah. Gee. So right now I'm doing a kitchen. We just put it in, but I'm finishing up the doors, and they had to have a glaze, or you call it a glaze, but it's Swiss coffee, but then I put a brown stain in all the grooves, and that's so much fun because it's different.
Yeah.
And not very many people. It's not hugely. I mean, it's not popular, but it's not like everybody does it. It's every once in a while. So I love it when I get to do that, because it's more art.
Yeah.
Work than just
the artist and contractor, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so are you guys,
I really like that.
When you say kitchen remodels, are you handling that entire remodel, or are you just doing the cabinet portion? And if so, like where are you getting most of your work from? Is it from homeowners directly saying, hey, we want to work with Weber, or is it, the contractor that's hiring you?
So I offer my services to run the job if they want me to. A lot of homeowners have decided to take it over themselves. They'd rather do it themselves. I give them, there's a countertop person I work with, there's a painter I work with, there's a backsplash person, flooring, all of that. So I could run it all and have us all work together and do that.
That's awesome.
But and I've done that, but it's usually I just do it just depends on what they want.
Yeah.
And I think I think it might be because of the stuff on TV and then YouTube and all that stuff, that people are like, I could just be my own contractor. I don't want to pay this extra money. And that's totally fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Until they have a problem, and then they have to call you. Right?
Yeah, they don't call me. Yeah.
No. I mean, like, they have a problem.
Yeah. Oh, they have a problem, then they call me. Yeah. Yeah, and then I don't want to tell them, I'm going to charge you for this. I don't want to tell them that.
That's where the non-ruthlessness comes in. Yes. And yeah. They're like, I got her.
But yeah, it's fun to do that. The kitchen remodels are a lot of fun. I love it. I'll go out and measure, and I sit down and I draw it by hand first, and I send them those plans and the price for everything. I don't want to leave anything out. So for the cabinets, here it is. This is what it's going to cost, and this is all that's included. And I like doing that, and because I can see it too on the paper.
Yeah.
And I'll draw the walls and everything, so I can see, okay, looking at this wall, this is what it looks like, and looking at this wall, this is what it looks like. And then they know, because a lot of people can't even picture it in their mind. What are you bidding on? Okay, it's $25,000, but what is this for? So I think it's helpful.
Yeah.
But then I do that for free, so you have a risk where you have to, you got to go out on a job and bid it, and you're hoping you get it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get every job though, because then you're doing something wrong.
Right.
But that I found is helpful. People have said, "Oh, I love the drawing," and I'm like, "Really?" don't think of it that way. So it's always when you don't think of it a certain way, it ends up being that way, you know?
Yeah.
But so then when they have me do the job, then I draw it on the computer and we do 3D plans and I figure that all out and what they want and go over it with them, make sure it's everything that they want. The measurements are my problem. I got to make sure it's right. But I just want them to tell me, yes, this is the way it looks, the way I want it, you know, and then we can start building it.
So the drawing aspect, I mean, that's pretty specialized. Is that something you picked up along the way or took classes for or learned, or where did you get into doing that?
So for years I would watch Bill, the guy that's retired. My dad has known Bill since he was a little kid, and Bill came in one day in 1998 before I was even here and said, I need some work. I want some work to do, Mark. And so, he ended up learning how to draw and because he worked with a cabinet company for years, but he didn't draw on the computer. So my dad got him some classes and he took classes and then learned how to draw in the CAD program, which was Cabinet Vision. And so I remember watching him and thinking, I'd walk by and I go, Bill, you can't ever quit because I will never be able to do this. I don't know how you do this. This looks so confusing. I would be so terrified to do this. And I thought that for at least 10 years. And then I kind of because Bill's 90 now.
Oh, wow.
And Bill went with me on a job to measure last week. He doesn't look 90.
Wow.
That's awesome.
He came up to me and he goes, do you have anything? Do you have a place to measure or something? Can I go with you? And I was like, you know what? I have to go to Tahoe. So I took him and it was great. It was nice spending time with him, but he would come in and sit down with me a few years ago, and I got a new program because I didn't renew Cabinet Vision. They weren't very helpful. Their customer service is not very good. So I ended up going to someone else and got a different program. And so he was learning it with me, and you have to set it all up and set it up how your cabinets are built and what size and styles and rails and all of this kind of stuff you do. So
learn from the best, huh?
I learned from him, yeah. And that was fun, and it's hard to believe that I'm like, I don't know how I do this, and then there's still things, you know, that I don't know, and I try to figure out. There's all kinds of things that I learn every day, new things.
I'm sure, yeah. That's awesome.
There's a lot to learn.
So speak to the Instagram a little bit. We were doing a little bit of research, and I mean, it seems like you're all over that and really kind of loving it, kind of getting out there.
Yeah, I like doing the Instagram to show people what we're doing in the shop. So I'll try to do videos and talk about. Most of the time, I'm in the finished shop talking about something I'm painting, but I have done some where I was showing where I did a drawing or things like that. I know sometimes I'll go to a job and measure, and I'm thinking, I wish there was a cameraman here, because, you know, I can show how I measure the job. But got to figure out how to do that. Maybe get one of my boys to go with me.
Yeah, or Bill. Get Bill.
Here, Bill, he would do it.
Bill, follow me around with this camera. Was that a deliberate?
He probably would do that.
Yeah, I know, right? Was that a deliberate decision? I mean, was there some motive behind being active like that? Yeah.
Well, I kind of wanted about 10 years ago, no more than 10 years ago, I wanted to have a reality show called Custom Cabinet Girl. And I started my blog that long ago. And it's never come to fruition or anything because I'm not like crazy. But that's what they all said. I've talked to different producers and they're like, yeah, you're not crazy enough.
Yeah, you're too nice.
We need more drama.
Crazy in your life. But I'm like, there's some people now that have shows that are not crazy. And I was like, there's a lot that goes on in the shop, but it's like, I'm like thinking, how do I show it? I can't, you know, walk around like this all day. I'm doing that. But so I just kind of do that because I found 2 years ago, I started a Facebook ad for kitchen remodeling. And then I was like, okay, I need to get this many people to like our page because nobody else is doing this in our town that has a cabinet shop. And I got to be the first one to do it.
Yep.
Because this is where it's going. There's no more yellow pages. I mean, I started when we did yellow pages ads, you know, and my dad had them before when I was a kid. So that was the thing. You got yourself in the yellow pages. Well, now you're online and you better start having a presence and putting your stuff out there. And so just kind of trying to do that, but with all the different jobs that I do, it's hard to keep up. So I try to figure that out.
Well, I mean, I think it's important. I mean, you were ahead of the curve, it sounds like, which is awesome, especially in this industry that's lacking that to some extent. But yeah, I think it's fun just to see somebody actually valuing it and putting some effort into it.
I've met some women that build. There's a lady I met. She started following me, so I started following her on Instagram. And she builds like more like furniture, wood furniture, and she does cabinets, but she does more on the furniture side. And I think she's back east, and she's neat because it's her shop, and I'm like, this is cool. I don't know any other women that, you know, around here that build cabinets or finish. So it's fun to see that, and you can see other people doing it, and so many talented people in this world.
Yeah.
The things that they come up with, I'm just like, wow, this is, you know, the things that they can make and things they think of. It's really cool to see.
And is that how you guys are getting your business? Is it because of, well, I'm wondering too, with COVID and people being home too, but does it have a lot to do with Instagram and that Facebook ad that you guys put up 2 years ago?
I think Facebook has a lot to do with it, with the extra work I've been getting in the last 2 years. Instagram, I try to keep track of it. I think Facebook is the best thing I ever did, and then Instagram seems to be. A girl sent me a message, and she was like, "I've been following you on Instagram, and I would like you to come to my house." And I was like, "Oh!" And she's in Lodi, you know, and so and then I had one lady recently. She goes, "You look just like you do on TV or on like TV or on Instagram." And I feel like I'm looking at a celebrity. I'm like, no.
Awesome.
And, so I was like, you're watching the video, you know, because I can't watch it afterwards. Like I won't watch. I might listen to this.
Yeah.
I can't watch myself. It's a little hard.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I try not to watch ours. He's got them playing all the time for editing.
I have
and stuff.
to, yeah.
For editing, and
it's hard to get used to yourself. Yeah, it's hard to get used to yourself.
Yeah.
That's fun though. I'm glad it's working out for you. That's awesome. I think that's an important takeaway too, right? I mean, you're doing something very simple, but to somebody else who's following you for a while, like you're kind of a big deal to them, right? And so it kind of creates some value
perception,
there, and
value,
some worth for whatever it is, right? I mean, obviously not monetarily, but just, you know, you've got, so, you know, you go into that person's home and even if you're probably 5, 10, 12% higher, if they're getting another quote at all, right? They might just want you because they watch you every day. But even if you are a little bit higher, you've probably got a little bit of value built in there that's going to help you out.
Yeah, I think that's right. There was a job I just did at an entertainment center, and she was like, it was in Lodi, and when I got to her house, she goes, my husband goes, "Okay, it's time to do the entertainment center." And she goes, "You know what I did?" I said, "This is the girl I want. I've been watching her on Facebook." And I was like, "Really?" Yep. I said, "Well, thanks for letting me know, because sometimes I don't know where. I try to find out where they found me."
Right.
And I was like, I'm thinking, oh, that helps, I guess, you know. Yeah. I was just like, and also I was like super grateful. Like, you watched the video?
That's fun. That's awesome.
Well, and I think those platforms, they give you the ability to educate those that are following you, right? And I think
potential
that's
buyers,
and that's where that value comes in, I think, because they go, well, you don't have to present a resume of work necessarily. They've already been following you. They already know your work. So you walk in already with a heads up on everybody else that's, you know, that's not doing that. Right. So it gives you the ability. And at that point, when you're measuring and doing all that stuff, it's in your bidding and whatever, you're, like I said, you're already further along than anybody else. and they're already keen on you, right? They want to work with you because they said, I was watching her video. I know she knows what she's doing. I like her work.
Yep. That's fun.
And I know that she can do it. So yeah, I mean, it's a great platform. I know many of our guests that we've had so far that work on the residential side, they really, it seems that Instagram, Facebook, a lot of the social media platforms are helping their business in some more than just like return on investment, right? Well, and it's cool. By the way, I don't think we've got a lot of people that have been saying, "Oh, I'm tracking," or like if they call me, I'm trying to figure out where they're finding. Some of them just throw it up and hope it sticks. But I think that's another key.
You got to get on TikTok next. Now you got to make videos with music in the background and a little bit of dancing.
I don't know anything about TikTok.
I don't either.
We don't either. I think we felt really old a few weeks ago when we had to post one and we were Googling how to do it and how to put the videos together and how to mix them and all that stuff. It was a nightmare.
Everything to music on there?
No, not at all. I think that's how it started.
We learned that.
Yeah, we learned that. But it's fun because with TikTok you can just post little videos, and if they kind of, just depending on how they work, I mean, it could be seen by a ton of people, right? Not just your followers. That's where the best part about TikTok is that you're reaching other people that are interested in those same type of things, or that are watching other videos that might be similar. You're reaching them without actually them following you. So it's kind of cool. You gotta check it out.
Another rabbit trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll follow you on TikTok when you make one right after this.
I might have to figure out how to follow.
Yeah. That's fun. So what's the future look like for you guys? You're young enough. I mean, you're I feel like you're ambitious enough. I mean, is it kind of stay in your lane and get good at what you're doing, or is there plans to grow again at some point?
I feel like I know God has plans for me in the future and what I'm going to be doing, but I'm not sure exactly. I don't have the foresight yet of what exactly He wants me to do. Looking forward, I mean, I know He wants me to be here. I know He wants me working with my dad. But for like growing the business, I kind of like it the way it is. I don't want to for a while there, I was trying to get really big jobs and, I'm going to do this and we're going to be big again. And I've kind of let go of that and no, that's not what we're good at, So we're better at doing custom things that you can't get off the assembly line, and
right.
Things that are built, to fit and look like they're furniture. So, but my dad is 67. He's 68, 67. He is and still building cabinets every day.
That's awesome.
But he's not going to be building cabinets every day. So I'm kind of thinking about that and where that goes, and just a lot of thinking and about what the future and where God wants me to go.
Yeah.
And that you asking that just tells me I'm like, I better be praying about that some more, because I gotta figure out what He wants me. But I mean, I know He wants me to be here, and that's what He wants me to be doing right now. I know I'm where He wants me, but for growing stuff, I think it would be awesome to keep doing the videos. My dad likes doing videos too, and he does them and talking about the different things about cabinets that other people might not know, and it's kind of neat to show things like that to people, because they're like, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't know you could build that, or I didn't know you did that. So it's kind of also like a cool infomercial. Sometimes we do some people have in the older houses, they don't make them well, I haven't made them for a kitchen in a while, but you used to put cutting boards in there above the drawer bank, and they'll bring their cutting board in. Can you make me a new one? Yes. So there, and I've talked about that. They're like, and people are like, oh, I didn't know you could. I need you to make my cutting. My breadboard needs to be remade, and then they'll bring it in. So different things like that.
Yeah.
Fun to be able
to we'll give you a little bit of homework. We'll have you check out TikTok, because we want to.
I will check out TikTok.
We want to start following you on TikTok.
Are you on TikTok?
Well, our show is not personal.
Yeah.
You think we are?
I didn't know if we still had it, but apparently we do.
Yeah, no, it's there. We only have a couple things, but I would say check that out and put in your interests and kind of go down a little bit of a rabbit hole because I think you'd have some fun on there, especially with your dad as well. I think it'd be good.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
I didn't mean to actually give you homework. I apologize. That sounded very controlling. No. Awesome. Well, we appreciate the time. We want to let you run it and get back to making some more cabinets, and we look forward to following you. I think you're in for some really good things, and it should be pretty fun.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No, thank you. It was awesome. We hope you get a chance to watch it back and promote it. And we want to make sure you let everybody know where to find you.
I was gonna say,
whether it's your
Instagrams,
your Facebook, websites, whatever it is.
At April Morse is my Instagram, and then at April Morse is my Twitter, and then it's Weber Company on Facebook, and Weber Company or weberco.com is our website.
Awesome.
Very cool. We appreciate the time, April. This is awesome. Keep doing great things. We look forward to following you.
Yeah, for sure.
Stay safe
Thank
out
you.
there.
I appreciate it.
Have a good one. Say hi to your dad and Bill for us. They sound like fun people.
I will.
All right. Thanks, April. Have a good one.
Thanks, April.
Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and give us a like or 5 stars or whatever means you like us.
Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. And check out our website for more video content and extras.
While you're there, shoot us a message if you want to be a guest. We'd love to have you on.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.